Hi everyone, it's Burgess from Tranquility in Art, and today I thought that I'd continue my Christmas themed paintings and paint a snow globe with a British postbox in it. So let's get started. So I'm going to start off by turning the paper upside down, and with my rigger I'm going to work very carefully, very carefully around the postbox so I don't get the color on it. And I'm being careful not to get the top of the postbox wet, because I want that to remain white to represent the snow falling on it, settling on it. I'm going to change my brush now to a bigger one, and now I'm just going to pull the rest of the pool of water away from the postbox so I can wet down the rest of the area. So I want to paint the sky with a Prussian blue color, not too strong, because if I make it too strong, the postbox might actually disappear into it and not show up. I'm being careful because I want to keep everything within the globe. All the sky color within the globe. So now I'm going to go in with some Prussian blue, Prussian blue, and just paint the sky with it. Switch to the rigger to pull some of the color towards the postbox, but with the rigger. Now it doesn't matter if you leave some white in the sky, because I'm going to put snowflakes in there anyway, so they'll just blend into snowflakes. They look like snowflakes anyway, so they're very fine. Switch to the rigger again, right off a little, and work very carefully around that. Right, and now I'm just gonna start a bit of darkness on the top here. Just a few dark spots around here at the end, at the top of the dome, and maybe towards the end here, just to give it the impression that it's spherical in shape. Now we're going to let that dry. It may dry lighter, but I don't mind that. Now, while that's drying, and I want it completely dry before I work on the postbox, I'm going to work on the base. And for this I'm going to use a brush pen, simply because the color is easier and stronger. And what I'm going to do is just paint the base brown. Now that it's dried, I'm having another look at it, and I think it needs a bit more paint because it's dried too lightly, and I did say it would dry a lot lighter, and this has gone too light. So I'm going to go back in and try and put another layer right on top, just to sort of darken a little bit, otherwise the snow won't actually show up. So let's just go back in with a more Prussian blue. Not too much, I mean, I don't want it too dark, otherwise we're going to end up with real problems. I'm going to let it dry again, And whilst it's drying, I'm going to work on the snow area here at the bottom, right there. So, okay, if this dries any lighter, then we're just going to leave it like that. Just be at it all day. Now let's work on the snow, and for this I'm going to use some ultramarine blue, and I want it to look like there's a path that's been worn away, like there, like that, and just upward motions. And you can use a bit of the Prussian blue as well in the snow, just a little bit, to add a few accents. And I'm going to take a little bit of burnt sienna and just round the edge like this. Edges here like that. There's already a mixture made of, sorry, not burnt sienna, it's actually Van Dyke brown, but we can use that and just make it look like it's a path with some gravel or something, and just make it look like something's coming out of it. Maybe a pole or something here, maybe one here. Now we wait for the sky to dry again, and then once that's dry, we work on the post box. Now, while that's drying, and I want it completely dry before I work on the post box, I'm going to work on the base. And for this, I'm going to use a brush pen, simply because the color is easier and stronger. And what I'm going to do is just paint the base. So it looks like wood. Then I'm going to take a blue and use that to add a few darker accents to it. Now that's dry, I'm going to use some red and paint the post box. I don't want it too runny, and I'm going to use my rigger for that. And I want to try and sort of avoid painting all of it red, because I do want it to look like there's snow in places too. I don't mind leaving some white bits in places, because it'll look like it's covered in snow. I am going to add a few darker accents to it later. I'll go over the whole post box, including this thing here, and I'll darken that later. Just leaving some white areas like that, as the snow has settled on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let this layer dry, and once that's dry I'm going to just put a few darker accents in. While that continues to dry, let's just add in some extra bits and pieces, like, I don't know, we don't want it to look completely plain. I think it's not completely dry actually, so I don't want to touch it in case it sort of becomes a mess, sort of starts spreading everywhere. And I don't want to fiddle either, so it's a bit of a hassle. I'm not sure whether to put a tree here. I'm not going to do anything actually, I might ruin it. Okay, so whilst that's drying, let's just put a bit of snow in places using a, this is dry you see, so let's just start putting the snow in. I would splatter, but you know, I don't want to make a mess because it's not, I'm in a place where I don't want to make a mess. Somebody's room, so I don't want to have white paint spatters everywhere. That's drying off nicely now. Once it's done, we can add a few darker accents to it, because it needs that. I don't want to add the white yet, I want to do it later. Ordinarily I would be splattering, but I don't think this is the right. I could try and splatter, I suppose. Maybe I will try one more and just try and sort of contain it to the table here. Okay, now we're going to take the rigger and okay, now we're going to add a few darker accents. I'm going to darken this. Yeah, like that. So that's where letters go in. A shadow under here. And you know that usually, I'm going to wet it a little bit. Usually, there's something along here which has sort of some markings on it. It's along right down the center here, and it's a little bit, it's engraved, indented into the wood, into the post like that. Let's take that color again. And I'm going to put it right on the top here like this. Now once that's dry, we're going to try and put some extra snow bits on it. Now let's see if I can do some splattering. I don't know. Let's see if I can find something. Alright, we're going to try and splatter, but not too much. I mean, right on top of the post box as well. What I want to do is take a bit of white and a few more extra white accents. We should add in. Let's just put a bit of shadow right under there, yeah, like that. Just standing on something. And I want it blue because it's all part of the blue theme. Let's just put that in there, like that. You could start fiddling here, that's the danger. Fiddling now, just going on and on. You can't finish. Okay, so now I have finished. I'm not going to do any more to it in case I ruin it. So here's my little snow globe, and I do hope you enjoyed it. It's very, very easy to do actually, because it's just one color here, one color there, and the same color from the sky goes into the snow, and For this, you could literally use a pen. And I've used this sepia fine liner 0.5 by Unipin, and the red is any bright red that you can get hold of. So have a go yourself, and see you in my next video. And oh, don't forget to give this video a like and leave a comment, and do consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you.